Good morning, everyone. So we are going to do this again. This morning, I went on Facebook and IG. IG was having problems and Facebook kept stalling. So I decided I would go ahead and record this video and share it with you all. My name is Juanita Williams. I am a purpose conduit. I am the link to life beyond pain and the channel to discovering purpose. And this is today's Tuesday Truths. Tuesday Truths. So today we are going to be talking about rhythm of rest. Rhythm of rest. We will be coming from Genesis, the second chapter, the first through the third verse. And it reads as such. So the creation of the heavens and the earth and everything in them were completed. On the seventh day, God had finished his work of creation. So he rested from all of his work. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because it was the day when he rested from all of his work of creation. And that's Genesis, the second chapter, the first through the third verses. And I always read from the New Living Translation, unless the Lord leads me to read from another translation. So I found an article online on a website called Turning the Page. And the topic is how to embrace a rhythm of rest. And of course, everything I bring to you, most times the Lord is taking me through that first. So I'm glad that I'm able to learn and glean and then share with you. So again, the topic is how to embrace a rhythm of rest. And he wrote an article on that, and I'll just be reading you what he wrote in the article. The first point he made is to recognize your need before it's too late. Recognize your need for rest before it's too late. He says, the little red light next to a picture of a fuel tank on the dashboard of my car shouts out to me to get more fuel. I have to stop and refuel that near empty tank. Do you know when you're getting low on resources? Perhaps others close to you know better than yourself. Perhaps others close to you know better than you. Being self-aware is being aware of the self and what the self needs. Being self-aware is super important. We need to really pay attention to our body and what our body needs, especially when it comes to rest. The second point he made is plan to have rest nibbles, snacks, meals, and banquets. A nibble might be a 30-second pause to give thanks. A snack might be slipping away from your activity to have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or drink some water or whatever, or just stepping away. A rest meal might be those times that you quietly sit with a good, nourishing book at the end of the day. And a banquet meal could be having a full day off, like once a week, where there is no hurry, rush, or pressure. And that is something that I pretty much never did. I mean, I've been working for a long time. I am now retired, still learning how to be retired. But whenever I took a day off, it was because I was either ill or I had something to do. I never just took a day off just to rest and relax. And even if I decided that, oh, I'm just going to take the day off, I would always find something to do. So I would encourage you, if you're going to just take a full day off, take it off and do nothing. His next point is ruthlessly plan for the rest to be rest. Ruthlessly plan for the rest to be rest. In the biblical story of the Israelites crossing the desert, God miraculously provided food for them 6 days out of 7. Manna, a light, fluffy bread substance, would appear like dew on the ground. The work would be to go out and collect it. On the 7th day, there would be none. However, God told the people to collect more on the day before the seventh day. This was so they would be provided for on the seventh day. On the seventh day, the people had to prepare in advance for the rest of rest. I read that wrong. The people had to prepare in advance for the day of rest, which is rest. So let's put this in practical terms in regards to us. If we're going to really have a restful day, what will you need to do prior to the day to make it a restful, full of rest day? An example would be to cook a meal the day before so that you won't have to work cooking the meal on the day of rest. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a whole lot of sense. Something I never thought about. So from now on, I am going to do that. When I'm having a full day of rest, I have a day that I'm planned to, that's my do nothing day. I'm going to make sure that I plan for my day of rest, my do nothing day. His fourth point is accept the deep value of sleep. Accept the deep value of sleep. He says, for many years, I went with those having mental health struggles to see their doctors. The doctors would go through a verbal checklist, and which would always include questions about sleep. He would ask, how much sleep are you having? What is the quality of sleep like? Do you feel rested when you wake up? Sleep provides the body a time to rebuild and refresh itself, which is so, so important. You know, sleep is, I've had problems with sleep for years. I can get to sleep, but the problem is staying asleep. So most of the time I don't feel rested when I wake up, but I have started some nightly rituals to help me get to sleep and stay asleep. So what I do, I've joined a writers group, a Christian writers group, and we're doing a Bounce Back to Life 90-day challenge. And what they do, they have infused some essential oils that helps with, you know, sleep and stress, you know, calming or energizing. So of course at night, there is a ritual that I do. I will make sure that I go to bed at the same time every night. And I will make sure that, so my room is not completely dark because, you know, I want to be, give my husband light when he comes in the room. So what I usually do is I will leave the TV on, but put it on mute just so he'll have some light when he comes in the room. So, but for you, make sure the room is dark. Make sure the room is quiet. I use essential oils now. You know, I have a diffuser, and I put a couple of drops of lavender essential oils in that infuser, diffuser, I'm sorry. And, you know, I will let that run. You know, read a book, but don't read something that will have you overly excited before you go to bed, or don't have conversations, hard conversations before you go to bed. Don't do a whole lot of strenuous activity before you go to bed, because, you know, it's going to take you a minute to calm down. You know, develop your nightly rhythm to help you be able to calm your body and calm your mind before, you know, you go to bed. Develop a nightly ritual. That's what I've done, and it has helped tremendously. It has. I'm just working on now trying to stay asleep. The next point he has is give thanks and acknowledge the goodness of what you and God have created. In the creation story of Genesis, we find God having a rest day, a day of stopping from the joyous creativity that they were involved in. There was, however, an activity they did do, and they meaning the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. They looked at all they had done and they said that it was good. They looked and they said. So, be thankful, give thanks, and acknowledge the goodness of what you and God have created. So, what I do before I go to bed, I do daily dumps. That's what I call them. So, if there's anything on my mind that I feel that I need to get off of my mind, I will journal it. And then I also write down, today I'm grateful for. So, as I'm journaling and dumping, I'm also being grateful and telling God what I'm grateful for that day. Most of the time when I'm journaling, it's nothing like challenging that have happened that day. If I have challenging days and I need to dump it at the end of the day, of course I will. But most of the time I journal about my day, and then I'm asking questions. I'm asking questions to God, or I'm just telling him, thank you. Thank you for the answers that you've given me. Thank you for those ideas. However you need to journal, you journal. If you had a challenging day, please, by all means, write it out. Or if you need to speak it into your phone, speak it into your phone, record it into your phone. However you need to get it out so you can get it off of your mind. And that's the whole premise of it, is to get it off of your mind. Get it out of your mind into the paper, onto paper or into a voice note. So that won't be on your mind. It won't keep you up at night. That's the whole point of journaling or dumping before you go to bed. Rest invites us to reflect on our activity, looking at what we've created, and to speak out thankfulness. You can start a gratefulness journey if you need to. Start a gratefulness journey or a gratefulness journal. And of course, we need to have a gratefulness journey. But you can get a gratefulness journey and start it and just write out everything that you're grateful for. Could you make it a rhythm of your day, week, or month to journal out the positive good things? That gratefulness journey, that thankfulness journal, however you want to do it, or if you want to speak it into your phone, however you want to do it. Be thankful. Acknowledge the great things that God allowed to happen in your life that day. You can, journal. Like I said, you can record it into your phone. You can just speak affirmations. You can make it a prayer, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, just do it. So you can journal those positive things that you've experienced, and then turn these reflections into prayers of thankfulness and praise. And he says, what I focus on gets me. Focus on the negative or challenges will always take me down. Focus on the positive or good things will always give me hope. His 6th point says, invite others into your coming away restful rhythm. He says, I read an article some time ago by Eugene Patterson about how he would have a Sabbath rest each week. He and his wife would have a day of rest on Monday. And on this day, they would slip away from their home and enter into the wilderness to hike the trails. They would watch for the birds and enjoy God's beauty, his creative beauty. And in this time of come away, they would have times of togetherness, and then times where they were by themselves, communing with God, and a journal. So apparently, what their source was using a journal. But again, you can use a journal, you can speak it into your phone, or however you want to do it. His next point is accept that God is at work and is not solely reliant on you. Accept that God is at work and he's not solely reliant on you. Martin Luther was one of the influential leaders in the reforming of the church. He says he was deeply challenged a few years ago amidst the busyness of his life. Perhaps our busyness and drive may be a hindrance to the work of God. You ever thought about that? I never thought about that, because I wore busyness as a badge. I was busy all the time. I filled up my schedule thinking that oh, this is the way things are supposed to be. I never really thought that it could be a hindrance to the work that God is trying to do in me. The work that God would want us, to get out of his way of what he is wanting or they are wanting to do in us. Busyness. Just think about it. God addressed me about my busyness a long time ago. And the Holy Spirit just told me, hey, you wear that as a badge of honor. And I was like, wow. Sometimes wearing things as a badge of honor is positive. Other times, it is not. And me just being busy just to be busy, not really producing anything, thinking I'm producing, but really not really producing for my good and for the glory of God. It was just busyness. I was busy just to be busy. And of course, being super busy all the time depletes you. It depletes you. So that's why we need to have a rhythm of rest. I'm going to read his last statement again. He says, perhaps our busyness and drive might be a hindrance to the work of God, that God would want us to get out of the way of what they are wanting to do. And they is the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Sometimes we are all up in their way. I know I am. I can speak for myself. I'm all up in their way. And I need to sit myself down and let them do the work that they're supposed to do. Of course, there is work that we do as well. Busyness is not one of them. The rhythm of rest invites you to come away, rest, restore, and ready yourself for the next moment. So find your way to enjoy your rhythm of rest. And he had 3 questions at the end that I want to ask you. And the first question is, how would you respond right now if Jesus came to you and invited you to come away and rest? Something to ponder on. What would have to change in your life if you were to plan for rest? And then how is your sleep? I pray that when you sleep, that you are getting the rest that you need and that you feel refreshed and revived the next day. But sometimes life gets in the way and we just do not sleep well. So again, do what you have to do to get the rest that you need. Get you a rhythm of bedtime. What do you need to do to prepare yourself for sleep? The rhythm of rest. It's important. We need to develop a rhythm of rest. Thank you for joining me on this week's Tuesday Truth. My name is Juanita Williams. I am a purpose conduit. I am the link to Life Beyond Pain and the channel to Discovering Purpose. And this is today's Tuesday Truths. Have a fantabulous week and an awesome-tastic day. And I will see you next week, God willing. Be blessed.